So guys and girls, welcome back to another video. I'm Hamza with Updato.com, and today we're checking out 3 smartphones you've never heard of. They're going to be unique smartphones. They've got some really cool features, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And with that being said, let's get to it. Alright, so first up is the Energizer Hardcase H550S. This is another mid-range smartphone from the brand Energizer. The ones that make batteries have now made a phone, so that's an added bonus. The smartphone performs fairly well in several different categories. It has a 4000 mAh battery and the duration is fairly long. This, as well as some other features, make the phone worthwhile, but the price tag is something one could chase away. Built with an IP68 rating, the Energy 550S is waterproof and shockproof, and it's designed to be used in some adverse environments. At the back of the smartphone is the single camera found on the central top location, alongside the LED flash and a fingerprint scanner in a vertical arrangement. Its screen display type is an IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen, and it has a pixel density of 401 ppi. Now, in terms of actual responsiveness, it's obviously like no Google Pixel, but for most of the tasks you will throw at it, it can handle them fairly well. However, there's a catch, because if you do try and throw like mid to high intensity level games at this particular device, it's not gonna last and run as smoothly as you would have liked it to. That's just something to point out. Lastly, this does have a 16 megapixel camera, and I was kind of surprised by it because the interface on the camera seemed to be a bit slow and sluggish, but once you've taken the photo and it has processed and you zoom in, you do realize it's got quite a lot of detail thanks to its 16 megapixel rear facing camera, and it is sharp indeed. For what you get in terms of the IP68 rating and everything packed into this smartphone, I think it's a decent deal. It's just whether this is something you'd want to go for, a bulky smartphone like this. But let's move on to the next smartphone. Next up is the Doogee S50. This is basically one of those active smartphones or rugged smartphones that will survive a bunch of tests. This has huge bezels and a heavy build to compensate for its IP68 rating, which means it should survive drops, immersion in water, and exposure to dust or worse. The display on this is fairly large, coming in at 5.7 inches. You will be needing 2 hands to handle this device, and look how it's just a massive device in general. So yeah. Now, in terms of the display quality itself, you're not gonna be blown away by it. It's 720p and it actually has a low pixel density, but then again, I don't think that would matter because of the people that would be purchasing this device don't really care too much about the display looking amazing. Last up is the Vivo Nex, which literally just launched, and you may have seen a few videos on it, but if you haven't, here's a quick rundown about the device itself. The Vivo Nex seems to have earned the title as the first smartphone with the truly bezel-less display, as well as what appears to be a smartphone with the world's first elevating front camera. Vivo launched its latest flagship with a 91.24 screen to body ratio, which means this literally has no bezels. That ratio is insanely high, and it's crazy to think how they've done this in such a short time frame. The Nex has a 6.5-inch display and it's Super AMOLED, so it's helpful that the battery is also large at 4000 mAh. One of the main drawbacks that companies do have when producing a phone like this that is trying to be bezel-less, well, the main thing is the front-facing camera, because we all need one. Now, Vivo had a way around this, and what they did was they implemented a front-facing camera that pops out of the phone itself. Now, that's kind of crazy in my opinion. It's a really smart idea, and the way they've done it worked really well. But as for the camera on the back, you're gonna have a dual set of 12 megapixel and 5 megapixel cameras being used, which could be seen as a letdown because similar flagships are using stronger setups, such as the OnePlus 6 with a 16 and 20 megapixel setup. But I don't think that's really a downer because of how sleek the device looks and kind of what they're going for. The last thing I want to talk about is the fingerprint scanner. This isn't at the back of the device on the home button, right? They got none of that. What they've done is they've put it underneath the display. They've put a fingerprint scanner underneath the display, and to that just blows my mind. That new technology is crazy, and I can't wait to kind of try that out and see how it works itself. It might be a bit slower than most of the flagships on the market, but to me, that convenience of having a fingerprint scanner right where your thumb or your fingers sit is just amazing. But that wraps it up for today's video. Anyway guys, be sure to leave a like on today's video if you did enjoy it. Why not subscribe to the channel? Latest lad, bye.